Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Thank you very much for your patience. This is the vacation setting for this week's cannabis career question sessions. Okay, so once again, I appreciate everybody and their patience getting started. I like to give a few minutes up front, make sure everybody can hit up those polls that we just released. And start thinking about some other questions that you might have. Thank you very much once again for registering, submitting your questions. That really helps this kind of work smooth. I'm able to do a little research ahead of time. My name is Jeff Poseal. I am the Chief Community Officer of EzHire Cannabis. And once again, as you can see, this is the vacation setting, but we stick to a pretty casual vibe here. Again, we're answering your questions and hoping that we can add some value and some insights to, help you in your cannabis career, whether you're already working in it or looking to get into the industry. That's why we're here today. That's why EzHire Cannabis focuses on, education and careers combined, because as this new industry is still in the early stages, we are focused on educating people about the industry as well as the career aspects. So EzHire Cannabis is a software platform specific to hiring in the cannabis industry. We are cannabis enthusiasts. We believe in the plant. We believe in the business. And we believe that by zeroing in and focusing on this industry, that we can be a pioneer in helping build better brands and better businesses through the people that are working in it. So once again, Jeff Poseal, EzHire Cannabis, Chief Community Officer. Once we finish this up, I will send a recap of all the resources, and there'll be videos released after this so that, you don't necessarily have to be sitting here right now taking notes or popping open tabs and searching different sites. So I will send you a recap email. There'll be videos released in the next week with this follow-up information. And we're also offering the opportunity, if you wanted to connect one-on-one with myself, I'll include a little calendar link where you can schedule 15 minutes, a half hour, whatever's going to work for you and for me to answer your more specific questions, maybe about potential opportunities. I help people craft their profiles for cannabis and work with you on your specific resume, or again, building your EzHire Cannabis profile. So that's basically it. I'm going to zip through some questions here. And once again, I'm on vacation, so this isn't the usual setting. So if you happen to hear some seagulls or some kids jumping in the pool, that's really what's happening right now on a family vacation. But once again, keep sticking with this casual vibe. So we're going to move through here. Once again, we do this every single week. If you're here right now, thank you so much. Appreciate the questions. And we'll do what we can to help you out. So this is how I like to start off each week. Is the number one thing that I hear from candidates and people interested in working in the industry is that they are concerned that they don't have any direct professional experience in cannabis. They feel that this is the number one thing holding you back from working in the industry. And that's a fine opinion to have, but in reality, this is more of a mental block that you need to sort of just restructure in your mind. Think about this. There are over 417,000 people that currently work in cannabis. 5, 10, 15 years ago, where do you think those 400,000 people were working? Many of these people came from other industries or had other experiences that are still valuable. And the truth is that every job and every experience, whether professional or just life experience, can be a valuable thing. There are translatable skills. Yes, this is a new industry, but in reality, it's mirroring several other different types of businesses. From agriculture and the cultivation side of cannabis to the supply chain and transportation, compliance and inventory, to the dispensary location, which is a retail arena. So if you've ever, worked in the mall at the shoe store and worked as a cashier or in the back room stocking shelves, accepting shipments, doing customer service, sales out on the floor, these are jobs that are happening in a dispensary. Um, there are, data type jobs. There are tech jobs that are building platforms that these companies are using in order to conduct their business. So across the board, there are different roles and responsibilities and jobs that are completely sort of transferable. But of course, the idea of understanding cannabis and education on, how it might be different is key. So if you think that not having any direct cannabis professional experience is the thing that's holding you back, restructure this in your mind, kind of give yourself a little reset and know that this is completely possible, and thousands and thousands of people have done it before, and thousands and thousands are going to continue to do this. So my number one piece of advice is always sort of like assess yourself, assess your current experiences, things you have done in work and professionally. There is a way to express yourself. So thanks again for the questions. We'll jump in. I'm gonna always sort of jump back to what we have going on here. So answer those polls. That helps me with insight and to understand what you are thinking about from a candidate perspective, and how I can maybe make this better moving forward, or again, answer your specific questions. So thanks again for the questions that came in earlier. If you have any questions that pop up right now, feel free to get those into the chat. Victoria, I hope you're all in now. Everybody, we are live, right? So I hope everybody with that, and I hope everybody can hear me and that this is working out. But once again, I'm just going to keep this rolling here. So first question today, I'm not going to mention any names or whoever submitted these things. So, if you're here, just check in and listen. Anybody that submitted questions before the event started, I'm going to get to them. I'm 100% going to get to them. So don't worry about that here. So first question is, how do I get my foot in the door of cannabis business, even if it's a step back from my previous work? Okay, so just like we talked about, with regards to transferable skills, this question comes from a place where somebody is actually already understanding that they may need to take a step back. But this is good. This means that you understand that you have translatable skills. It means that you understand that you do have valuable experience, and that it may require a step back. Now, a step back could mean several different things. It could mean a lower pay rate, a lower salary, different benefits and things like that may be different. However, this person seems like they are passionate or interested and curious and wants to do this. And that's key. Again, for somebody who doesn't have any direct experience, having enthusiasm about the industry can be the difference maker in you getting a job. So by providing information that you are interested, by putting it out into the world, by coming out of your cannabis career closet, by saying that you want to work in the industry, that's kind of the first step to doing it, because things like your resume or cover letter or objective and the conversations that you're having with people who are hiring you, those are the things that you need to be able to sort of express that you are committed to this industry, because as this industry is evolving, it is changing. And where we stand today, the idea that there are only 23 states, we just added Minnesota as far as an adult use 21 plus state, that's going to be opening up sales quite soon. That means that more than half the country still is going to go through this process. It's not even really worth thinking about federal legalization at this point, because right now it's individual states rolling things out, and each state is going to do it a little bit differently. So understanding that this is an evolving and a growing industry is a part of the excitement of wanting to join this industry. Uh, yes, you can be a fan, you can be enthusiast, you can be a consumer. I am a consumer, I am a fan. I came from another industry and worked my way into it. And how that started was by going through this sort of education process, by um, getting involved, by going to cannabis events, by going subscribing to different newsletters. Shout out www.inhaledigest.com. That is a brand of ours uh, where we keep people in the loop as far as culture and education goes. So putting it out into the world is going to be your first way that you change industries and change businesses. You need to make sure that people know that you're interested in this business and for a certain reason. So how do you get your foot in the door of a cannabis business, even if it's a step back, is by taking a look, knowing what you do well or want to be doing, what your career profile already looks like, and sort of tweaking it and building this bridge into what that means as far as a cannabis business. So it's entirely possible. And again, there might be this more of a mental block for you understanding that this is totally possible. So again, whoever asked this question, you seem to be over this idea that you can do it or can't do it, right? You know that you can. So if you're willing to take a step back, that means a lot to a cannabis company because what you're going to be bringing to them is going to be valuable. And you're proving your commitment, you're proving your interest, you're proving your curiosity. So that means a lot. And if you're willing to do this, that commitment is going to probably pay off for you in the long run because you're already willing to take this step back now. And as this industry rolls out, and as businesses grow and states grow, and more ancillary businesses come up around the idea of cannabis, then you are going to be somebody who is in the early stages of the industry. So if you feel like you're late to the game, you are not. Last year, the industry brought in around $30 billion. This year, it's expected to reach $34 billion. And once again, as individual states roll out, these numbers of careers and number of people working in the industry and number of dollars flooding into this industry is just going to grow and grow. So if you think that you're too late to the game, you are not. You are still, if you're sitting right here and you're interested now, you are one of the early adopters to the industry. What are the current jobs that intersect with tech and cannabis? And actually, we had a few people this week ask about this intersection and this overlap between tech and cannabis. Yes, there are jobs, right? So once again, the cannabis industry is mirroring other industries. It is not just a retail store, a dispensary, right? It's not just growing and it's not just selling. There are structures and software and tools that are used to make these successful companies run. Something that might be very simple to understand is a payment system. So because cannabis is federally illegal and currently banks own the laws and regulations around banking and bank accounts and things like that, there are completely new like POS systems and ways that people accept money. So this is like a tech and a financing type job, right? There are software tools that are being used in dispensaries. There are software and tech tools that are used in cultivation and in inventory control and of testing and metrics of the actual plant. So regulatory and compliance, but like in the lab, there is a lot of different technology and tools. So for example, software engineers, like we talked about, right? They're going to develop and maintain software that cannabis businesses use, POS systems, point of sale systems, e-commerce platforms, right? The way that you can order online. And again, e-commerce is something that exists in the world, and you may be a software engineer or work in e-com currently, but you can do that for a cannabis business. So it's an ancillary roundabout way to get involved. Cultivation and management software also very key, right? It's very detailed. It's very time oriented. There are different systems of taking care of the plants. Data scientists, right? So data scientists are using data to help cannabis businesses make better business decisions, identifying trends, optimizing marketing campaigns. Marketing is an area that is going to really take off in the coming years as, again, different regulations and compliance, sort of those rules around cannabis evolve, and improving product development. So data scientists, software engineers, web developers, of course, again, web developers is one of these roles that have always been able to sort of like, you're doing your job in web development, but you might create websites for one industry or 47 different industries, because what you're really doing is building this arena for people to get to. Cybersecurity, right? So analysts and IT security is, again, one of these things. It's one of the fastest growing and necessary systems that people need to have in place. And so by conducting security assessments, implementing security controls, responding to security like incidents and data protection is going to be a huge thing in cannabis. Again, you have the idea of where there's payments, right? And there's a collection of data that these systems are holding that people may want to, hack for whatever reasons they do, right? IT managers. So there's people who are a little bit higher up who are managing the infrastructure of cannabis business, right? They're managing the networks and the servers, the software. Once again, I apologize if it's a little windy. I hope the sound here is working well for everybody. So to the several questions that came in around tech and cannabis, those are just a few of the tech jobs that I mentioned here. Again, software development, data science, web development, security, IT management. There's, cannabis marketing, again, cannabis branding, and then compliance. The compliance area is still relatively new. So there's a lot of different requirements and businesses need to follow. And they need these compliance professionals to help businesses stay compliant with the state and, eventual federal regulations. So it's rapidly growing industry. And again, all of these different tools and all of these different jobs from other industries are completely applicable and necessary. So companies are willing to hire from other industries because they understand that there's a key overlap in skills, in transferable skills. Let's see what else we have here today. What are some common mistakes that new cannabis entrepreneurs go through? Okay, so common mistakes new cannabis entrepreneurs make and how can they be avoided? Well, not doing your research, right? So before you even start thinking about a cannabis business, it's important that you do any sort of research. Understanding the legal landscape in your state is probably the first thing that you would really need to dig into. There's a lot of different regulations and restrictions that you'll need to comply with, and you don't want to get sort of caught off guard. So not having a business plan is going to be essential, but it's not a industry where a stony bro culture is just going to succeed because you like weed and you like getting high. So understanding that this is a real business and a real industry and real money, and your goals, your strategy, your financial projections, that's going to help you stay on track. It's going to help you get any sort of funding. Again, understanding that this isn't just like a throw a seed in the ground, it grows, and then you sell the plant, like, or smoke it or whatever you're doing to it. So really understanding what you want to do and what those implications are. It's very key. So understanding your market, again, what what's going to be your specialty as far as cannabis products go. Do you understand the market? Are you doing things different than other people right now? Who are your target consumers? What are their needs? What are competitors doing? Right. So again, sort of just understanding the landscape, um, building a team. If you're looking to be an entrepreneur in this business, you're not going to be able to do it alone. So I would avoid taking on too much, and understanding that your team, or at least your partners and people that you're working with, are experts in their field. Once again, from the finance side of things, understanding how you are even going to accept payment for whatever you're selling. That's something that a lot of businesses struggle with right now because of the laws and the regulations around federal legalization. So not doing it alone. You need to have a strong, team of people. You need to have some mentors who have gone through it before. Um, and again, various places. So are you the business manager type person who's going to manage the financial side of things and the building a team? Or are you an expert in cultivation who's going to need to find those other experts? So cultivation, production, marketing, and sales, just like any other business it requires uh, different areas to be focused on and to be people who actually understand what they're doing. So again, you don't need somebody necessarily uh, from it. If you are the cultivation expert, you're not going to be able to make and grow the best products, and also, you know, have the infrastructure of your business established and set up properly enough without other people, pulling their weight in those other channels. Uh, and again, from an entrepreneur and new business, not being compliant. Compliance is essential for any cannabis business, and that impacts several different arenas. So you need to make sure that you're in compliance, state and local regulations. Failure to comply, fines, penalties, they'll take your license away, right? So even the idea of getting a cannabis license um, is a process. So there are just a few mistakes. I would really kind of lean into this idea of having a strong team and having experts in various fields. So getting involved in the community. This is another way of, not doing it alone. You have to get to know the other cannabis businesses. You have to know other people who are growing. You should be able to get on site. You should have the ability, or part of your business planning should be to be at these different cannabis events, whether they're huge conferences or like product launches. You have to know who's operating in these other spaces, community in cannabis, because it has taken so many people working towards making it legal and accessible for people for so long. The community is very deep and very real and very genuine. So really involving yourself by going to these events or reaching out to people, going to the various shops or cultivation sites, know who is operating in the space already. And that's going to be super helpful. Patience, that's probably a good tip for anybody looking to work in cannabis right now too, because again, overall, it's an early stage of this industry, and things are continuously evolving. Against regulations rolling out, state by state, people are learning a lot as it moves through, because people are going to fail. And when other businesses fail or people fail, the other people or the new people joining need to take those lessons, and they need to understand why something worked or didn't work, and to build on that. So, paying attention to what's happening out there. Again, this education aspect. You can't really just jump in. You should be somebody who is genuinely interested and curious, and following up and learning every day, and continuously learning and taking in new information about what's happening in the industry is going to be super key to just building a strong foundation of knowledge for you to be successful as an entrepreneur. How do I stand out against other applicants with my resume? I have a lot of experience and I want to showcase it effectively. Well, once again, this is an important aspect. To come out of your cannabis career closet, you need to make it known to people. You need to get involved so that you are um, proving to people that you're interested. This idea of having some enthusiasm and interest and curiosity and commitment, as well as the patience to get into the industry, is important. So if you have cannabis experience, that's awesome, because there are a lot of people looking without direct cannabis experience, and there might just be certain roles that do require some direct experience. So if you have it, you want to showcase it effectively, prove it. So your resume should reflect that, obviously, right? So we'll be doing a resume and cover letter workshop in the next month. So make sure that you're following EzHire Cannabis on socials. LinkedIn is our primary place where we put out continuous education aspects around helping candidates get jobs. So not only our software platform itself and the ability to apply for jobs, you will be able to, again, learn from us as we evolve and as we get more jobs available in our system. We are also going to be helping you with that aspect. It's not just a create a profile and click a bunch of buttons. We're here for you. That's why we're doing this right now. So once again, you're here right now, so you're proving that you're interested. So showcasing it effectively. If you're in cultivation, you should have some bud. You should have some green. I have been to conferences before. You should be going out to conferences and launch parties and meeting the other people that are doing it, and showing them your product. Let people see what you're doing and explain to them how you're doing it. So like literally think of this as building a body of work, crafting your specific profile, whether it's on LinkedIn or EzHire Cannabis. Show your experience like you would in any other job. I guess I'm not sure how else to say it, especially if you do have experience, then feature that and highlight it and express not only what you did, but what you want to be doing. Well, specifically on the EzHire Cannabis platform, one of the ways that we allow you to do this is we offer a video introduction in place as a cover letter. So we are, as a modern solution for a modern industry, we are not trying to just replicate how other people have done it in different industries all along the way. We believe that as a modern industry, video is the most effective tool for introducing candidates to their jobs. So there's a way to even do this outside of the EzHire Cannabis system. You could be putting out on your own socials, you could be putting out videos, and you could be putting out posts, and you could be writing commentary on the system or whatever you're doing. Sorry, I got distracted. There's some construction happening next door. So put out some videos, put out some posts, share what you're doing, what you have done, share your experiences. Take that idea of maybe you had a challenge in a previous role, head over to LinkedIn or on Instagram and talk about what that challenge was, how you handled it, or how you wish you had handled it. Maybe you could have done something better, or maybe you're really proud of a certain achievement. Share those things and put together little posts, put together a paragraph by post, include pictures. Once again, on the EzHire Cannabis platform, as far as a cover letter goes, we offer the video introduction. So this tool is the most effective introduction for a hiring company to you. They get to see your face. They get to hear your voice. The connection that somebody gets through a video is going to be much more valuable than trying to read through like a text over a cover letter. You get to express your enthusiasm, your excitement, or again, if you're sharing a story about maybe something you didn't do well previously and how you would do it again in the future, sharing something that maybe you did wrong or was a challenge, and your improvement or your understanding of how it could have been done better is the positive thing to do, is proving to, again, somebody that you are committed, continuously learning, and involved. Okay, there have been a few questions about this too lately. I've seen a few people ask about if you were coming from another country um, or worked in, outside of the United States, could you work in the industry? And this is a little bit out of my realm because I'm not a lawyer or an immigration lawyer specifically. Um, so I imagine you could work for, if this is a home office question, I would assume the only way that this could really happen is if you were in, again, like the IT sector. So if you were working for like an IT based cannabis, like some sort of software business, you can probably work as a VA. You would probably get hired if you were a data scientist or some sort of web developer or something. I imagine that you could. Now, I can't see that really working if you were looking to be like in a plant touching business or role. Um, and if you were looking to come here as, if you were looking to come to the United States with a, again, like with legal representation from those companies, I'm not really sure how that would work because, uh, again, the federal legalization. So that might be a way different and way more challenge for you. Once again, you're going to have to talk to like an immigration lawyer or cannabis lawyers. But I can imagine that that would be a hurdle at this time. Um, yeah, I just don't know, but it's awesome. If you are in a different country, one of the ways that you can do this is maybe, knowing what's happening in your own country with regards to laws around cannabis. So is it offered medically? Is it offered recreationally? Is there a way for you to get involved from where you currently are? If it's not legal in any aspect, then you could be find yourself working with like a lobbyist or whoever is working, because in every state that it's not legal, in every country that it's legal, there are certain people who are doing this. Uh, they are trying to make this work. All right, so into the chat here. I don't really see any other questions coming in. That's where we have so far. Yeah, so education is going to be key. So one of the things that we have as far as EzHire Cannabis goes is we have our LinkedIn page. Well, EzHireCannabis.com, create a profile. When you upload your resume, you will you upload your resume and your resume ends up filling out most of your profile. You'll end up with 66% of your profile complete. Once you upload your resume, the next priority would be uploading that video introduction. So would you utilize one-way video introduction if it were to speed up the hiring process? Most of the people that we've polled says yes. However, when filling out our profile, sometimes people get a little hesitant to do this video aspect. One thing that's super important to understand is that this is going to speed up the hiring process. So not only from a company perspective who is trying to hire, but from a candidate perspective, from your own perspective, when you're trying to get a job, doesn't it sound much better to have, a week or 2 weeks chopped off of the hiring timeline just by simply doing this video introduction? So what happens here is, think about the initial process. When you apply to a job, you may or may not hear anything from the hiring company within a week, 2 weeks, maybe sometimes never. If you do hear, it may be, say it's 7 to 10 days later, they call you and they set up an introductory phone call. So there's already one phone call to schedule a different phone call, and that's still set up in this kind of almost like a preliminary stage. So now you're moving past 2 weeks and you haven't even been involved in like the hiring conversation quite yet. You've only sort of introduced yourself. So the video introduction, which acts as the cover letter, is the most effective way for our hiring companies to get to know you, to qualify you as a potential candidate. So the first time that they reach out to you will be that conversation around actually getting the job and working. Let me see if I can share what it looks like in EzHire area here, show you sort of my profile. In EzHire, I will show you what this looks like, what our profile looks like. So I know some of you said that you had filled out an EzHire profile already, and some of you have not. So I would suggest doing that. It will take you, if you have a resume already, it'll take you 10 minutes. So head over to EzHireCannabis.com, click create an account, upload your resume. Upload your resume first, and then once again, you will see that your profile strength right here is going to show 66% complete once you upload your resume. Now, these areas right here are shaded in a little purple color. That means that they are complete. When they are not complete, they will be shaded in like a little pink red color. So right off the bat, you will see what you need to do in order to complete your profile. Your professional skills right here, these are not just cannabis related, because although we are a cannabis specific job platform, we understand that there are translatable and transferable skills from other arenas. So you'll see here that some of these skills listed are very direct to cannabis, such as trimming, dry and wet trimming. But then we have things like employee management or retail experience. Again, if you're looking for a job in a dispensary, you have retail experience, this is going to be valuable for a hiring company. Your job history, this area will be filled out once you upload your resume. We are the only job hiring platform that actually has a resume parser. So rather than duplicating this information and having you go through and literally put the same information that's already on your resume, typing it in here, wasting time, the EzHire Cannabis platform is going to be way more efficient for you. And again, that's why we're here. We're trying to help you get involved. And then you come right down here to the video introduction. This is where you get to be genuine, show your commitment, show your interest. No, you do not need to have direct cannabis experience, but I have seen people do this while they were walking down the street. I've seen people do this from their cars. I've seen people do this with a cat on their lap. These are things that, allow you to just prove who you are in a very efficient manner. You can see my video that I have created. It's 1 minute. So it's a chance for you to tell your story about why you want to work in cannabis. And that's important. That enthusiasm, that curiosity and interest is key for hiring managers. They want to see people who want to work in the industry. They don't want to see people who are just looking for a job. One of the polls that we did ask earlier was around that idea. So again, please complete those polls because that's really interesting. So what is the most important factor when you're choosing a cannabis employer? Is it the pay and the benefits? Is it the people you work with and the company culture? Is it the reputation of the business? Do you know who they are? Are they reputable? Are they a multi-state operator, an MSO? Some of the larger cannabis companies are multi-state operators. So although, it is not federally legal, these companies do operate in various states. So what do we have? We have pay and benefits. We have people we work with, the company culture, the industry reputation of the actual business, or the roles, responsibilities, and the career path that you're actually, what's the most important factor here? We have previously polled, and it typically comes in that company culture and the people that you work with is a priority. So when you're applying for jobs, you should be doing research. Everybody says that, but especially in cannabis, because this company culture aspect is so important for people. And there are, just from a medical versus a recreational aspect, you can see how different brands represent themselves differently. And that means it's not just the industry reputation, but it's the type of people that work for those different types of jobs. So what's the most important factor when you're choosing cannabis employer? The cannabis employer is going to get a lot of information out of your profile when you introduce yourself using the video profile. You can come over here to the second page, and that's where you kind of just do these other things, job interests and your location. So the EzHire profile system is super awesome. It's built for efficiency. It's built for effectiveness. You follow this profile strength. And so what happens is when you do have your profile strength up to 99%, and you're applying for jobs before the hiring company even gets your profile, you are qualified within our system and by our account managers because you have a strong profile. You are not going, you may be able to apply for a job, but if you only have 15 or 18% of your profile filled out, you're not going to be qualified and you're not going to be shared with the hiring company. So that's a very important thing. Upload your resume and then do your video introduction, and you are good to go. Let's see if we have any other cool insights. Let's see, I can share some information around ways to stay involved and ways to stay educated. That will be one of the things that you can do is subscribe to Inhale Digest. Inhale Digest is our newsletter brand. I'll do this here. This is our newsletter and media brand. We focus on culture and education. So each week we send out a newsletter where we include jobs, we include links to various insights and to help people understand the industry. We share events and we share, again, polls and different information around the industry. So this is one way that you can get involved and get educated. We have a very cool YouTube channel where we are putting out continuous content. So you can see here some of the last videos that we've uploaded. We'd love to, pop over there and subscribe. So again, I will have all of these things in the video recap I'll send you after this. I'll include all of the resources and ways that you can, again, stay involved and get educated, because that's our priority as we're working with companies that are building teams. We are focused on helping you do that. So understanding the job, understanding the industry, understanding the opportunities is going to be the thing that ultimately, gets you the job. So inhaledigest.com. Follow us over on EzHire Cannabis on LinkedIn. We're continuously putting out education and information around careers, how to get them. I will offer you a Calendly link so you can link up with my calendar and schedule a one-on-one. I ask you that you at least create your EzHire Cannabis profile first before doing a one-on-one, because that's going to just give us, a head start when we have that conversation. I'd love to have a little bit of insight of who you are, past experience, and how we might align you with opportunities. So ahead of scheduling a one-on-one, I'm going to ask you and make sure that you have a profile. Otherwise, we just can't really put that on the books. But it's going to be helpful. Again, I can help you craft your profile. I can help you dig into LinkedIn a little bit and talk to you about those initial conversations when you're trying to figure out how to tell people that you're working in cannabis or want to work in cannabis. It can be a challenging question for people, a challenging conversation to have. So that's one of the things that I can help you with specifically, is just the idea of how to have those uncomfortable conversations if you're not already comfortable with talking about it. So understanding the industry, having some knowledge, having some data points ready to go for those conversations, such as what I mentioned earlier. There's over 400,000 people currently working in cannabis. That number is only going to grow. The idea that the industry did $30 billion of revenue in 2022, that's expected to grow to $34 billion. The idea that currently there's only 23 states that offer recreational or adult use 21 plus, that's going to be very important, because that growth is clear. It's clearly a growing industry, and obviously as it evolves, different businesses, you'll hear that different businesses are, getting shut down or not really operating well, or, there's going to be businesses that get shut down. But if you think about any market and any businesses, they don't all succeed. So there will be ups and downs of the industry, but that's not very much different than any other business. Once again, let's see here. I think we are good to go. Please answer those polls. Hit me up afterwards if you have any additional questions. If I missed anything here, send me an email, jeff@EzHireCannabis.com. And once again, you'll all be hearing from me. This maybe today, maybe tomorrow. You will all get an email from me with a recap of today's thing, different videos that we got out of this, and allow you to schedule one-on-ones. So thank you for being here from the vacation setting of cannabis career question sessions. Hope this helped. Hope you found this valuable. And I hope you jump into EzHireCannabis.com, create your profile, and then let's link up and I'm happy to help you. So thank you. Peace.